Alright everybody, how we doing? Today we are running a build on the brand new Vaadwaur Juggernaut. This is, for anybody who doesn't know yet, the new R&D promotional pack ship. And we decided to run a little bit of a Canon build, if you will. So we are running Vaadwaur Polaron weapons and a quantum torpedo. And we are running dual heavy cannons. So we decided to go this way because, as far as we know from the weapons that the ships usually come with, the Vaadwaur do use quantum torpedoes and obviously their own version of a Polaron weapon. So we went into the boxes and we got out a little bit of a set of Vaadwaur dual heavies. We re-engineered them, got some decent mods. It's not a matching set. For the quantum, we have just a little bit of a crafted crit D2 spread. Didn't really re-engineer that, take off the ACK. And then in the back, we have 3 turrets. When it comes to the space set, I am running the Nakura 2-piece and the Colony Deflector, obviously for the crit severity and chance based on hull. And then we have a Fleet Warp Core, which is giving us our EPS and whatnot. This character is kind of limited by what he has for options for space sets and things like that. But I'm not saying at the same time that this is the absolute best and min-max style of a cannon build. Just trying to put something nice together to have fun with the Vaadwaur Polarons. Obviously, this is a command ship, so it has the Universal Console spot, bringing us to 12 altogether. In the Universal Console spot, we are using Domino. In the Engineering spot, we have Dynamic. We have Hostile Acquisition, which is something available on the exchange for pretty cheap. This is giving us accuracy and control. The reason we're running this, as well as the Weapon Sensor Enhancer, is to play around with the accuracy overflow. This one, the Weapon Sensor, is from the Lobi, though. The last engineering console we have is actually the console from the Vaadwaur Astika. It's the Assault Mode Relay. Now, the passives on this are plus 57 to flight speed and plus 38 to flight turn rate. Kind of really nice for this ship because it's big and it does not like to turn. If you do want to activate the Assault Mode Relay, which for the Juggernaut is giving us 15% severity, 10% fire cycle haste, and negative 50 to turn and flight speed, which really does hurt. But the critical severity and fire cycle haste are nice, but it makes it a lot harder of a ship to maneuver. It's already pretty hard, and it kind of totally takes away from what the passive of this one is. So, in science, we are running the console that comes with this ship, the supercharged SIF conduits. Its passives are 11.4 Polaron damage, which helps this build, and 15% hull regen. Then we have the Tachyokinetic. Reason I went with this one over maybe like the Assimilator or something was, again, it helps with flight turn rate. For tactical, we have the Bioneural for our crit severity. Then it's giving us hull cap and control, obviously a Lobi console. And then here we're at a little bit of a hindrance because we went with 4 tactical locators. Again, this character was set up really for like anti-proton way back and then disruptor. Kind of just following the meta, a Romulan tack, kind of push DPS on. I do not have a Polaron set or a just overall cannon set. So this is a disruptor locator. And so obviously I'm getting the crit chance, which is very nice. But I'm not getting the Cat 1 damage bonus, which, 37.5 times 4. So, we did good numbers in there, but obviously if we were running the correct ones, it could have given us a little bit of a boost there, and that would have helped. So, don't recommend this, just explaining why it is the way it is. We'll take a look at our stats here. EPS, we're at 276. Accuracy rating, we're at 108. Crit chance, we're at 32.2. And crit severity, we have 161.6. If we move here to get these numbers a little more approximate, we are at 20 inertia and 15.4 degrees per second for turn rate. Our skills, we're running, basic tactical ultimate. For specializations, we are running intel primary and strategist secondary. For traits, there's nothing really special in the personal trait side. A lot of stuff you're going to see normally. We have our cannon and our projectile. Even though the projectile wasn't really a big part of the damage, it was just to kind of fit into the theme. Overall, I think with spread and just regular fire, it gave us about 8k. For space traits, we are running cold-hearted because we have Ox to Bat. We have Promise of Ferocity, Honored Dead for a little bit of defense, Withering Barrage for our scatter volley duration, and Emergency Weapon Cycle for our power cost. Of running a Vaadwaur cannon with one N. You know, they do have their quantum torps. We looked at the Starship Mastery package last time, but we'll just take a look again in case you didn't see it. 2.5 crit chance, getting 15 crit severity, hull regen, and then enhanced weapon system. So a really nice package. Yes, I just said that. We're going to take a look at our bridge officer stations. For us, in the Universal Ensign, we decided to go with Emergency Powder Engines 1. We couldn't fit R3 because I did decide I wanted to go with 2 copies of Aux to Bat. In our Tactical, which is also a command seating, we have Scatter Volley 3, Mixed Armament Synergy 2, Chemosite, and TAC Team. About Mixed Armament Synergy with this build, if you know what it does, or if you don't real quick, it's activating a beam, cannon, mine, or torp will cause you to gain 40% Cat 2 for the other 3 weapons. So whichever weapon fires to activate or trigger this ability, the other 3 types are getting that really nice bonus. And that's for 10 seconds. Obviously, we have cannons and turrets. The turrets are counting as cannons, and the 1 torpedo we have is the only other type. So because we have 7 cannons and 1 torpedo, more often than not, probably every time in that run, it was the torpedo that was gaining the 40% bonus all damage. If it was a way to, you could control it. You could have your cannon not on auto, or your turret, your projectile not on auto fire, and kind of as you go into combat, you click that ability and fire your torpedo, and then kind of activate your auto fire with your cannons after that. That's not something I, felt comfortable doing. I think that would be something I'd have to play around with first, so for that run we didn't. But it definitely is a nice bridge officer ability. In our Lieutenant Tactical, which is also an Intel, we have Beta 3, OSS 2, and Torp Spread 1, just to kind of shoot that quantum out there. Like we said, in our Lieutenant Commander Engineering, we have Aux to Bat 2 and 1, and Emergency Powered Engines for the evasive cooldown. Science, Hazard Emitters, and Structural Analysis just for the debuff. So, again, not the absolute optimal kind of scatter volley build there, but, nice little build. Wanted to kind of mix the 2 together. I wanted to run cannons on it, obviously. It looks really good for that. But I wanted to keep it kind of Vaadwaur themed. So, good numbers, I thought. For me, I'm not really experienced or great with cannons. Got good numbers out of the dual heavy cannons and the turrets overall. Most of our damage obviously came from Scatter Volley 3. The Quantum Torpedo gave us about 8k altogether. Then just the other stuff was a little bit mixed in. Some Chemosite, some Drain Infection, maybe some of the pets we called in. Some of the abilities that we kind of hit off there, like the Juggernaut Array, which, again, if you didn't see the last one, fires a Polaron bolt directly in front of your ship to foes, hit 24,000 Polaron damage, and knock significantly back. In that run we just had, which again, I'm not boosting Polaron damage all that much, especially since we're running the wrong tactical consoles, it only did about 500 damage for me, and I probably didn't hit it off in the absolute best position or anything. Something I'd still have to play with and get used to. So overall, worked out really nice. Had fun with the Vaadwaur Polaron Cannons there. And again, for this ship overall, it's obviously very expensive, but maybe you've been grinding and you have some EC saved up, or maybe you got lucky. I've heard of quite a few people who got one on 8 boxes, another got a couple on 20 boxes, so that luck is there. I've won 2, but I did open 120 boxes, which still, if for the drop rate isn't bad, but it's obviously quite a significant amount of resources put in. But overall, I think it's a really nice ship. We got pretty lucky in that run. We had a good team. We had some good speed. So I didn't have to worry about staying alive or anything like that. And the maneuverability wasn't that big of a factor. I'm a little used to flying these bigger, slower ships with a forward-facing kind of build like the torp boats. So overall, I had a lot of fun with it. I've been enjoying this ship so far in the limited time I've had to really play with it. If you do have the currency or the money and you want to go after it, I do recommend it. If there's anything else, any questions, any kind of build you'd like to see on here, leave it in the comments below. And see you guys next time.